Hey everyone, welcome to the webinar. We are so happy to have you all here. We know that you are probably super busy and shoving this webinar in between other appointments, and for that we are very thankful. I'm Tara.
And I'm Ross, and we are the Microtourists. We have always had a passion for travel and love to explore any chance we get. In fact, last April we took a huge risk and sold our house and most of our belongings. Quit our stable jobs and decided to travel full-time. We lived in the mini camper that you see pictured there and filled our days with hiking, backpacking, swimming, kayaking, eating, enjoying local breweries, and even a few wineries.
Yes. We are going to take a step back here in time before we became full-time travelers. Before we became full-time travelers, you would see a Ross and Tara that were eating very well. Half our plates were usually packed with fruits and veggies. We chose lean meats and very rarely ate fast food. We were living by that 80-20 rule, where 80% of what we ate was healthy and then the other 20% was less healthy.
Yeah, we were also pretty involved in physical activity before we started traveling full time. I belonged to the local gym, and Tara was a yoga instructor, and she also took a lot of yoga classes when she wasn't teaching. We also have the huge white dog that you see pictured in the photo that required regular walks. So we usually got our 75 to 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous activity each week. And since we had a pretty regular set schedule day to day, it was easy to kind of pencil those things in and stick to our healthy habits.
Yeah, and however, as soon as we hit the road to travel full time, the healthy habits that we had in our quote normal life went out the window. For the first few weeks, we were honestly just getting used to the new lifestyle. There was a lot of trial and error. For example, we were trying to figure out how much food we could fit in our teeny tiny fridge and then determine how much money we have to budget for food and beer, how long it even takes to cook a meal in our tiny kitchen, and also just finding grocery stores was difficult.
Yeah, determining our physical activity opportunities honestly wasn't hard because we were outside constantly. We were hiking or exploring, doing outdoor adventures, and we were just active. And we still needed to walk the dog, so she was getting her regular walks.
But still, it was an adjustment, and we could feel it in our bodies pretty quickly that we could tell we were eating poorly, just weren't as energized as we should be, and we were either overly full or starving and reaching for the most convenient foods, which generally aren't the healthiest. And I think we were a little undisciplined and disorganized.
I would agree with that.
So, who the heck are we, first and foremost? I am Tara and a health and wellness specialist. I have my master's degree in nutrition, exercise, and food science, and am a clinical exercise physiologist certified through the American College of Sports Medicine, and am a registered yoga teacher. I worked in public health and the fitness industry for the last 7 years, and health and wellness is something that I am very passionate about outside of travel, and I love teaching and sharing science-based resources with people.
Yes, and I am Ross, Tara's husband and travel partner. I'm also a backpacker. Love hiking, and trip planning is kind of my expertise. I was also a collegiate athlete, so I know firsthand how important it is to take care of your body and keep it working properly. Currently, we are living in a world filled with fad diets, taboo topics, new supplements, buzzwords, and it seems like a new superfood comes out every other week. How do we keep it all straight? If you're like me, you really don't. You kind of feel like you are hiking out in the middle of the wilderness and you can't find your trail because there are hundreds of signs pointing you in every single direction. Trust me, I know what that feels like.
Well, a promise that I made to myself early on in my health and wellness career was that I would just stick to science and let science be my guide. So then when you add traveling to the mix, to the world of taboo topics, fad diets, and new superfoods, problems are just compounded when you live in a camper, you're traveling across the country, or you're in a foreign country, or you're living in a hotel. It makes it even more difficult to live a healthy lifestyle. So that is why we have put together 4 life hacks that you can live by and that have helped us actually become healthier than when we were not traveling full time.
Yes, we have stronger bodies, better skin, improved digestion, and much, much more. We know that there are more tips out there, but these are just the 4 that we do not budge on.
Yeah, the 4 life hacks are meal plan and a grocery list, 75 to 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous activity each week, avoid fast food, and utilizing whole food supplements.
Correct. So the first one is meal plan and create a grocery list. Did you know that you need 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every day? That count actually gets higher if you're super active or dealing with an illness or something like that. Getting these kinds of servings of fruits and vegetables doesn't just happen. It's something that you need to work at and plan in advance as to what meals you're going to eat in order to get that kind of nutrition. We've adopted a system that every week on Sunday or Monday we sit down together and write down on a table of days of the week, kind of like you see pictured, what meals we're going to plug in and how to get that nutrition.
We also kind of decide what meals we're going to choose based off of what we already have in our kitchen, and then we take into account a lot of our week's activities as well to help determine what meals we're going to make, especially when it comes to supper time. So this slide is an example of how we do that. We used to be this strict, but we're not so strict anymore. We became a little bit more relaxed, but this is a good starting point. So this way we can see the meals visually that we want to make and then plug in a few extra fruits and veggies here and there for each meal that might be lacking. And you can see that it's organized on the top by the day of the week, and then on the left hand side is breakfast, lunch, and supper.
Yeah, we eat a lot of leftovers, so we generally make more than we're going to consume for said meal. For example, chili on Sunday will make enough to feed us for a couple other meals as well. And then we also keep a lot of lunch items in the fridge that are healthy, such as hummus, wraps, turkey, eggs, fruit, crackers, things like that that we don't consider junk food.
And then after we see the table of food we're going to make for the week, that's when we put together our grocery list. So we take inventory of our kitchen, then write out a grocery list of food that we need for the recipes on our week's worth of meals. This way, we aren't overspending and going over budget, which Ross loves, and then we only have to go to the grocery store 1 time a week because we ensure that all the food we're going to need for the week is purchased that first time on either that Monday or Sunday.
Yeah, it also kind of helps us avoid going to the grocery store without a plan and just throwing things in our cart that we think look really good, like chips and cookies and other options that aren't as healthy for us. If we have a list, it seems like it's easier for us to just get those items and stick to the plan.
Yep. Life hack number 2. Get regular physical activity or exercise on a regular basis. The American College of Sports Medicine, which is the gold standard of exercise and exercise prescription, recommends 75 to 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous activity each week. And this is to maintain your health. If you want to gain additional health benefits, you need to exercise 150 to 300 minutes of moderate to vigorous exercise each week. It can be anything. Just move your body on a regular basis, really. Physical activity is so key to health, but as you travel, it can be difficult.
Yeah, I also like to add in strength training. I do that 2 times a week. You could do it more than that, but that's just something that helps you stay physically active and healthy, and it's a good addition to running or cardio work.
Yep, maintaining your muscle mass. Some tips, um, additional tips for regular physical activity could be simply be brave, because once you start traveling, you're going to be out of your normal system. So try out a new yoga studio or a new cycling studio in the city that you travel to. Book hotels with gyms, or have a gym membership that is a franchise that you can utilize its amenities nationwide. In fact, that's what Ross does.
That is what I do. And if you're also like us, try to get out and hike. It's one of our favorite ways to get to know an area, and you can immerse yourself in nature. And there's a lot of different options for hiking depending on where you are.
Mhm. Or there's a lot of communities have those bike paths and walking paths that are super accessible. The third life hack.
Is avoid fast food restaurants at all cost. One reason to do that is because you have no clue where that food is coming from or what kind of weird preservatives are in it. Another reason we choose to not eat at fast food is because we like to eat at the locally owned unique restaurants in a community. Every fast food chain is going to give you the same experience no matter where you are in the country, but not every mom and pop cafe or grill will, and they usually use a lot better ingredients and whole foods in what they're making.
Yeah. In rare occasions that you do have to eat fast food, like we understand you have to do that sometimes, but try to opt for the healthier option. It is actually now the law that all fast food restaurants have to indicate the number of calories for each food item that on the menu. So have you noticed that? Try to use that as a guide to help choose your next meal. I always use that every time I go into a fast food restaurant.
Yeah, and we also understand that while you're driving is when you're tempted to eat fast food. So one thing we do is just buy sliced turkey and whole wheat bread and pre-make sandwiches so we can eat in the car, and it is pretty cost efficient.
Yes.
So eating out in general usually means you're going to consume a lot more calories than if you would if you're eating at home or in the car. But going to restaurants is fun when you travel, and it's the number one way to get to know a city or country, right? I mean, that's kind of the experience, is the local cuisine. So what we do is stick to a goal. So we say we're going to eat out 3 times this week, and then we stick to it. We don't compromise on that. 3 means 3, and we stick to our number. So the rest of the time we eat our homemade meals and snacks, and that not only keeps us healthy and happy, but also keeps us on that budget.
He loves sticking to that budget. The last tip, or the last life hack to live by, is whole food supplements. Like we said earlier, we need to get 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables each day. That is extremely difficult to do, especially while you're traveling. Therefore, sometimes you need to rely on vitamins and minerals to supplement your diet.
Yeah, we choose to take a whole food supplement to kind of bridge the gap of what we're eating and what we should be eating. So what I mean by that is we typically are buying the same fruits and vegetables from the grocery stores, and ones that will usually travel easily, won't get ripe too fast, ones that we can easily pack in our backpack to go hike. So therefore we miss out on a lot of nutrients from foods that aren't as easy to take with us, like blackberries, pineapples, pomegranates, tomatoes, anything that's going to get squished or bruised. And they just aren't as user friendly, and it's hard to take with you hiking or on an airplane or traveling in a camper for days.
Yeah, but your body still needs those fruits and veggies. So it is key to choose a supplement that will actually give you those micronutrients. General rules of thumb when it comes to choosing supplements is make sure you look for FDA approval. This will be difficult because not all supplements are regulated or created equal. The United States Food and Drug Administration has strict standards, and not all supplements on the market are FDA approved. If your supplement says that it has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, then that means that they can put whatever claims they want on the product's label, whether they are true or not. It really isn't a 100% trustworthy source if it hasn't been given the FDA green light.
Another certification to look for is the NSF certification. It's another stamp of approval. The NSF is a public health and safety organization, and they do third-party testing outside of the company that lets you know if companies are complying with those strict standards and procedures imposed by the NSF.
And the NSF certification is not a one-time event either. It involves regular retesting of products to ensure that they continue to meet the same high standards required to maintain that certification over time. Lastly, it is also important that your supplement is made of real fruits and veggies. A lot of supplements on the market are synthetically made, meaning that they aren't derived from real food. If they are synthetically made, lots of times your body doesn't know what to do with it and will just get rid of it without actually absorbing the nutrient that you are trying to consume. So, if you're like Ross and I, people who sincerely try really hard to maintain good health but are still having difficulty getting all the nutrients you need, and you refuse to take shady supplements, then what are you to do?
Well, we have a solution for you. It is actually derived from whole foods. It's backed by years and mounds of research. It's FDA approved, NSF certified, and actually isn't even considered a supplement at all. It's just as convenient as a supplement, however.
We promised that this free webinar would be fast, so we won't keep you hanging. If you want more information, you can click on the link below this video, or you can contact us with either one of these contact options through Instagram, Facebook, email, or you can find our website. We sincerely wish you all the best of luck on your future travels. We wholeheartedly believe the best way to enjoy your travels is by taking care of yourself.
Yes, and that starts now.
Yes, so happy trails to all of you. If you want more information, you can click on the link below.
We look forward to hearing from you.